Hello and welcome. My name is James Humphrey. I'm the head of design and technology here at DC, and I've been organising this trip to Prague in association with Club Europe, who've been helping us along the way or helping me along the way. This is my third time. I'm going to be going to Prague with the college, fourth time in total, and I must say it's probably the best trip that we offer, and that's largely due to the access you can get to the different factories. I.e. Skoda, and also Crystal Bohemia, which we're going to on the second day. But without further ado, let's just have a look at what we're going to be up to. So we're going to be arriving. Let's have a little look at these pictures. It is such a beautiful city. And when we've been there for the last year, every time we've been there, definitely the last two, the weather has been fantastic. And I think the weather's going to be quite good this time as well. However, I think what you really want to know is where do the kids need to be and when. It's going to be an early start. It really is. It's 4 o'clock, I would have thought, out of bed. 5 o'clock at Heathrow Terminal 3. And that gives us an hour and 50 minutes before we get the flight. And of course, usual restrictions will apply in regards to luggage and fluids. And of course, passports and EHIC and GHIC cards. That's something I hadn't heard of. Don't forget, no liquids over 100 millilitres. Bring your passport, bring your cards. I've been caught out before, and my EHIC card was incredibly useful. Spending money, I've suggested something like 150 quid if you're generous. They will need a little bit, as we'll go into later. Personal medication, please, if your child takes some medication, just get in contact with me. I will probably already know about it through the medical department at Dulwich, but it would be good just to touch base before you go. And so just make sure that we are prepared and you're prepared. We are not picking the kids up from Dulwich. Okay, we're meeting at Heathrow. So just to clarify that, I know that I've had a couple of parents just ask me about that. Okay, so that's going to be on Sunday, 20th of October. Right, kit, long range weather forecast is pretty bright and it's getting better. I was looking this morning and it's 20 degrees, I think, on the Tuesday. However, it can be a bit rainy at this time of year and it can be cold, or you can have cold spells. So make sure that you have some layers, make sure you have a waterproof, or the kids have a waterproof. That's really important. We're going to be doing a load of walking. Usually we rack up between 15 to 20 kilometres walking around town. And so comfortable trainers, I would suggest, are the best things to wear, and comfortable clothing. Nothing which is too tight, and just things which the boys are used to wearing. So some sort of sports kit would sort of be ideal. But I'm sure they have sporty kits which they want to wear anyway. We're going to be staying at the Olympic Hotel for 2 nights. This is the first time we've been here, but it's been recommended by Club Europe. It's meant to be very good, and it's a hotel that they have used a number of times. It looks pretty clean. It's slightly further out of town. It's about 2.5 kilometres, I think. But it's on quite a major tram line, so it will take 20 minutes to get into town. We're going to be checking in there about 12 o'clock. So it's going to be, I think, probably slightly before that, to be honest with you. But I would have thought, 11:30, 12 o'clock we'll be there. We'll drop all our bags off. I don't know if we can get into the rooms quite at that point, but we can put them in storage. But we're going to be heading out straight away. And just a little map here of where it is. It's quite near the railway, I think, the railway station. But there are a number of different ways to get down into the centre of Prague itself. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this Zizkov television tower. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a Soviet-style tower, television aerial. Absolutely brilliant. And you can see they've put these little men climbing up the tower, which is quite funny as well. It's a landmark that looks over the city, and we'll be going up to the observation deck, which I'm not sure if it's right at the top or it's the second one, but it's an incredible place to go and see the city. You've got the old city, which is a jumble of different roads and lanes, alleys. And as the city goes out, it becomes more suburban. The structure becomes much more geometric. So you see the town planning and how the city's grown over the last, hundreds of years. So that's really good. Of course, after we've been up the tower, we then get a chance to go into the city itself. We're going to be exploring the city in the afternoon. We're going to try and go to the Cubism Museum. That's quite good. Have a look around the Cubist shop as well at the different artifacts, which Cubism, which of course is an art movement, but has been really influential in design movements as well, has influenced design movements of the 20th century. So that's one of the things. We're going to go and have a look at the Charles Bridge and the astronomical clock, which is really good, and watch that change. And the different mechanical people come out. That's always a lot of fun. After we've been around town, we're going to, it's a Wenceslas. No, it's a Charles Bridge and the Wenceslas Square. That's correct, yes. After we've done that, we're going to be going to play some volleyball. We've got an indoor volleyball court booked. I think there's 2 of them booked actually, and that was a lot of fun in the past. And we're going to go and play that for an hour or 2 before heading out and getting some pizza from a particularly nice pizzeria called Green Tomato. And finally, we're going to end the day, a long, exhausting day, by going bowling. Again, we've been to this place to play bowls, or to go bowling before, and it's really good. And it's not too far away from the hotel either. So by the time the kids are exhausted at 10 o'clock, they'll be able to take a short journey home and get into bed, which is grand. They're going to be staying in rooms. I've not mentioned that. They're going to be staying in rooms of about 3 to 4 for the majority of them, depending on what year they are. And they're going to be staying largely with their year group, except some of year 12 and 13. There is one room which is mixed. Okay. Day 2. Day 2 is going to be the main day, where we're going to go to the different places, factories, to have a look around. We're starting off with Crystal Bohemia. It's my 3rd time to go here, and this is fantastic. It's a very, very old works which uses gas to heat up the sand and melt it down with different additives and produce these pieces of glass. The glass, which is blown into all different shapes, is then taken upstairs and is then modified. That's where it gets its crystal nature from. They use different abrasive tools to put the markings in, like we can see this person doing down here, and they put the geometric designs, and so we seal that. And it's great. They're very open to questions, and after that you can go and see the final pieces in a shop across the road. So it's a really good day, which shows you an old way of manufacturing that hasn't changed really for decades. One thing I am quite interested to see is how has the energy crisis affected it, because there used to be plumes of gas, of ignited gas, all around, and it seemed a very wasteful, very hot place to be working. And I wonder if the crisis in the prices of fuel has affected that. After that, that'll be the morning of the second day. After that, we're going to Skoda, and this really is the showcase tour. I mean, the Skoda is not just a factory, it's a city. It has its own fire brigade. I think it's got its own medical facilities. It is huge, and it's so big that you can't just go along to the factory and walk around. You need to go and get on a coach. You need to take your own coach there, and that's what we have. So we're going to go around that on a coach, and we'll get to see if it's the same tour as previous. We get to see from everything from the spraying of the cars, the finishing, all the way back, I should say, to the stamping of the different wings of the car. So you've got all of the presses and different machines which shape all the different aspects of the car bodywork. So yeah, it's an incredible day. Especially the comparison between the 2 different manufacturing facilities. We'll get back from Skoda probably around 4 to 5 o'clock, I would have thought, and we'll spend a little bit of time in town. I might give the kids a bit more free time just to have a wander before making our way to a traditional Czech restaurant, which the representative from Club Europe said is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go down here. I think it's one of the restaurants which is sort of set below the road, almost subterranean, and we can get a whole variety of traditional Czech fare there. After that, we're going to go and play some pool. I think Mr. Bungay is unbeaten on these DT trips, and so everyone will be trying to beat him. But we'll be renting, or we'll have 6 pool tables. So there'll be some good games of pool hopefully being played, and we'll have to see who comes out on top, whether it's the kids or whether it's the teachers. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that ends really day 2, and we move quite promptly on to day 3. Day 3, we're going to begin by going to an escape room, see, test people's problem-solving skills. If you can remember Crystal Maze, Richard O'Brien, wasn't it? It's a bit more like that. It's a bit more of an environment, from what I've seen, opposed to just a couple of rooms that you go into. And it looks like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And so the kids are going to spend, I think it's an hour and a half, trying to solve the puddles or riddles and make their way through the different environments within this escape room, which is slightly further out of town, but it's quite close to where we're staying. So I think it's something like a 25-minute journey from where we're staying, and conveniently not too far away from our next location, which is around lunchtime, just after lunch, which will be the Technical Museum. Technical Museum is brilliant. It's got so many different vehicles in it, from the first motorbikes, which are effectively bicycles with motors, to many, many aeroplanes. If you go up into the eaves, they've got loads of buildings in Prague and loads of models that were produced when different buildings have been designed, and that's fantastic as well. So we'll take a guided tour around the Technical Museum, and that's going to finish. I think that's finishing around 2 to 3. And then I'm hoping, although it hasn't been confirmed yet, I'm hoping that we can take the boys to Prusa, which is a 3D printing factory on the other side of Prague, and see what they're up to there. It's been a hard place to get into, but I spoke to someone today on the phone. This is Monday, and they said because we're a school party, they may make an exception, and we may be able to get a group of above 6 through the doors. I did explain that above 6 is more like 26, but they seem to consider us as an option. So hopefully, we'll be going to Prusa in the afternoon, which will be great. Once we've done that, we'll be heading back to our hotel and getting all our stuff. Once we've got our stuff, we'll be making a move about 5:30 to the airport. We have a 9:15 flight out of Prague, and of course, with the hour we make up, that lands at 10:25 in Terminal 3 Heathrow. So I haven't put it on there actually. I just amend this before I send it out. Yeah, so we arrive in Heathrow Terminal 3. Please be as prompt as you can. I'm hoping to be through and out of the airport by, I would have thought at the latest, well, fingers crossed, 10 to 11. So please be there to pick up your kids, and then we can let them go. If you would like your children to come home on their own, you must tell me. Please send me a text so I know that I can dismiss them and they can get the Heathrow Express, or maybe they're going to be going home together. That's absolutely fine, as long as you give me permission beforehand. You can follow us on DC Design Tech on the Instagram. We'll be putting loads of pictures on there as this sort of journey develops, showing what's going on. In regards to pay, what the pupils have to pay for, lunches are not included. Insurance, I know the school has a bit of insurance, but you might want to get your own. Behaviour conduct, we have to pay €20 for each pupil. Each pupil needs to pay €20 in cash at the hotel. Now they'll get that back if they're not too naughty and not too messy. But we've always got that money back in the past. And we do check up on the rooms as we go through. So, nothing gets too out of hand. But we ask the pupils to put that forward. There's going to be unsupervised time, like I said. There's going to be some time where they spend looking around the city. We'll make sure they're in groups of 3+ when doing that, of a similar age group of pupils. If you have any concerns about your son being in groups of 3, you'd like them to be in more, please let me know and I can bear that in mind. Of course, like every trip that goes out of Dulwich, no alcohol, no smoking, and of course, no drugs. If you've got any questions, please drop me a line at humphreyjs@dulwich.org.uk. I'll be very happy to get back to you and hopefully give you answers quickly to your questions. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic trip. We've had 2 previous trips to Prague, which were outstanding. And I'm really looking forward to this one. I know the staff who are coming as well are. We've got Mr. Vaughan, he's going to come along, and also Mr. Bungay. Mr. Bungay and Mr. Vaughan came on the previous trip to Stuttgart. Yes, they did. And so, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, I hope you've enjoyed listening. If you do have any other questions, please get in contact. All right, bye-bye.